5:07 on Tuesday, the KRMG Evening News with Skyler Cooper. Tuesday means it's time for the BA Breakdown with Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon, who joins us live on the line. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Skyler. It's wonderful to be with you tonight and all those folks that are listening in to find out about all the great things that are happening within our community.
If there are any questions for Michael while we have him for the next 5 minutes, send us an open mic on the KRMG app. We'll try to work it in. Michael, last week we were talking about the Rose District a little bit. I wanted to update you on my side of things for a little bit. I'm happy to report that over the weekend we went to a new restaurant we had not been to on Main Street, had a great experience there. I found out just, maybe going an hour earlier than I had anticipated helped with the parking. So I know that's something we were talking about, parking down there, and I realized that the council has been looking at ways to help with that. You touched on it last week with different parking options. I've seen some renderings now of new signage to try to help guide people where they might, maybe they could park. What can you tell us about that?
Well, right now the city has approximately 800 free parking spaces throughout the Rose District, and because they're not like a large parking lot that you would see at a Walmart or a Target, some folks may not recognize that our free parking is actually spread out. And so the city council and I decided that we needed to improve what I'm calling our Rose District wayfinding signage, which is in the next few months, we'll be installing about 20 to 25 new signs in that area to direct folks to those parking areas so they can determine where they want to park based on which restaurant or business they would like to go to. And we're very excited. It's got the Rose District emblem on them, and they're very classic looking. And so I think that's going to help just improve folks as they come down here to know where the different places are that they'll be able to park.
While we're on Main Street, let's talk about, there's a new building there that's just completed. It's very pretty. There's a nice patio outside it. Looks empty right now. Do you know what building I'm talking about, and do you know what's going to go in there?
Oh, absolutely. That is our brand new arts and center, our new Center for the Arts and Innovation. It is a public-private partnership that we have with Arts OK. The voters back in 2018 approved money in our bond package to help with the actual construction of that building, and that's phase one. And we have turned the keys over to Arts OK for them to begin their programming of the building. We have not had an official opening of the building yet because, like everyone else that's trying to open a new building, there are some issues with supply chain, getting furniture, fixtures, and equipment. But hopefully in the next couple of months, we will be able to open the new facility downtown, which is going to attract a lot of different artists. A lot of kids' programs are going to be in there. That's just basically, we'll have the arts and entertainment district here in Broken Arrow, and we're just very excited about the voters' approval. And secondly, how it's going to be another attraction for our award-winning downtown Rose District.
Let's go a little further south to New Orleans Square, 101st and Elm, an area that we have been reporting on for years. As it left a lot more to be desired for some time, and that's a big focus of the city now. I understand there's some more work. I think we touched on this a couple of weeks ago. We sort of teased it. There's like new sidewalks going in that area, all ahead of probably what is to be some big future development.
Well, let me step back real quick and talk about a little bit about the history, because we have so many new people here in Broken Arrows that back in the early 2000s, the development of our community was heading south. And that area of town was really the main commercial retail area in our community. And then a little thing called Bass Pro happened. Yeah. And that's when the city entered into an agreement in 2005 to buy the land, to build the building. And that investment that the city made back then, because we owned the Bass Pro building and the land that it's on, basically it was the transformation of the northern part of our community. And literally, it's like the development just stopped south and started heading north. And shortly after I got here back in 2015, I started having conversations with the council members about the importance of revitalization. I mean, Broken Arrow has tremendous opportunities for development, new development. However, I think a good mark of the community is when you go back in and look at redevelopment, and New Orleans Square is a prime example of what can happen when you have a public-private partnership, and public being the city coming in and making infrastructure improvements and then convincing either the existing building owners or the tenants that they can make a return on their investment. I think we're starting to do that. And as you mentioned, we have about $390,000 worth of sidewalk improvements for connectivity being done. And right now we are planning to actually make improvements to the intersection, which should start later this summer. And we're also looking at trying to bring more events to New Orleans Square to attract more citizens to become aware of all the great businesses that are there. So that's why we have 2 or 3 examples of one. We have an event coming up on the 23rd of April, and then we have our block party, which is going to be at the end of June, where we have our 4th of July celebration. And so it's an amazing time to be a part of what's going on with New Orleans Square right now.
Last thing for you, we just have about a minute here. I remember before this New Orleans Square conversation started, I was doing stories. Oh gosh, we're coming up on probably 8-9 years ago. We were talking about the Warren Theater area and how that was a focus for the city of development. Is that still in the works?
It is, and unfortunately, I think the model the developer used, from everything I see, was not the model he should have used back in the day when that first opened. And right now, we still have an incentive agreement for him to bring retail and commercial. He has not brought what he told the city that he would do back then. There are conversations going on with him, with the city periodically, as well as with other developers. And as you know, we just approved the TIF district with the new 65,000 square foot research store that should be opening sometime in 2023, plus probably another 200,000 square feet of commercial retail. So I believe every property has its time to development. Sometimes it's not as fast as we would like for it to. However, I still believe with all the growth that we're experiencing in South Broken Arrow, with all the new homes, those new businesses are going to be what we really need. And I think in the next 5 years, you're going to start to see some growth out there in that part of town by the Warren Theater.
This time every Tuesday, we talk with Michael Spurgeon, the BA city manager. It's the BA Breakdown, and we'll do that again next Tuesday. Michael, have a great day.
You too, Skyler. Take care, my friend.